Hi everyone, welcome to Inner Guru Conversations, and I have a very special guest today. I have Shweta, who is also a life attitude coach, and she runs a program by the name of Mary Azadi, and she helps people like who are who've gone through a lot of bad breakups or who is a single parent, and help them how they can overcome these certain personal, professional challenges in their life, and also she helps them to have the right attitude in their life which can help them break their limited beliefs and shape themselves for a better future. And I'm so happy, I'm so glad that you're here, Shweta, with us, and thank you for this your time and energy so that you can give us some inputs in this next 20-30 minutes of our session together.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Guru. Thank you for having me actually with you on this talk. And yes, I definitely believe that you also have a wonderful attitude towards life. It's not about us in general going through any problem, any trauma, or any distress in life. But what matters is the attitude, the way we fight with it, the way we overcome that challenge in our life.
Correct.
And yes, thank you very much for having me on your program.
Yes,
Thank you.
I'm glad that you are here, and also yes, you had to also. I'm sure you had to also overcome a lot of challenges. That's why through your experiences, you are able to transform so many people in your life. What are few of the main challenges which you had to overcome in your life, and how did this give you an idea of being a coach and people helping people find their freedom? Which is because every individual fights for freedom at the end of the day. We fight for
Absolutely.
freedom, we fight for happiness. These are the main two things.
True, true. I completely agree. For me, what we call the baseline or the foundation brick, what am I standing on? That is the freedom. If I don't have freedom, uh, freedom of everything. When I say freedom, when I named my program Meri Azadi, I meant freedom of expression, freedom towards my life, freedom to my happiness, freedom to claim my own life. That this is who I am. I don't have to pretend to be someone else for somebody else. I can just be myself, and all of us have amazing potential to be great human beings. So why stop when you can be? I mean, I recently watched this movie Shakuntala Devi,
Okay,
and she said like, why be ordinary? Why be normal when you can be amazing? And I
correct.
loved it. It's like we all have a potential to be amazing. So
Yes,
why just be normal?
that's true. We
So
all are born ordinary, but we have a choice to live an extraordinary life.
absolutely. That's exactly what I believe in. So that's why I tell people that it's not just that, that when you feel that it's a rut of life. No, every moment is like a joyful moment. It's how you look at life. What is your attitude towards life? You know, uh, like I was listening to a talk by Osho when he said he was very young and they were very poor. So
Yes.
they didn't have a house to live in. So, with great effort and too much of hard work, his father built a house. But right before a week or 7, 8 days before they could shift in that house, there was a heavy rain and I think some storm or something. So that house got destroyed. So he informed his father that जो आपने मेहनत की, whatever you had built, that's all gone before we could even go and live in that house. It's not there anymore. And you know what did his father do? He
What?
came to that village and he distributed sweets, mithai, to everyone. He said, I'm so glad that my family was not there in that house, that we had not shifted in that house. Otherwise, I wouldn't have seen a single person in my house alive. That's
Correct.
the attitude towards life. That
Yes.
how you look at even a tragedy. People are complaining that COVID happened and we are all restrained in our house. Yes, I know, but look at the brighter side. How many people got to spend time with their family.
Correct.
Yes, the ones who got departed from the family, it is sad for them, but eventually I think everybody made it back to their house, be
Correct.
it on foot. Like look at the zeal, the way people walked all the way. They reached to their villages or to their houses.
Correct.
I know a girl who had to travel from Noida to Jaipur and, cross three borders in between. That's like a big task.
Mm,
People came up, with strong emotions. During distress, you realize importance of what matters to you. When
correct.
people could not go out, shop, eat out, do, other things that they were doing otherwise, imagine they found love back with Ludo, with Tambola. People started playing. It's like small pleasure in life.
Correct.
People realize the value of carom board, I think. It's not about a game. It's about
Correct.
how people started connecting with each other, with themselves.
Yes.
How many people had, seen they were deprived of a good sleep. So finally they found their sleep back. Finally they were in a way stress free, but yes, a lot of people have gone through emotional challenges because of it has been traumatic for some. But then again, as I said, it can be either traumatic or really a pleasurable moment for anyone to enjoy. It is how we look at it, how
Correct.
we, message, give the message to our own brain that what is going on.
No,
And
that's so true. That's so true.
yeah,
Yes.
so
And do you want to tell something more?
it's like all I will say is before you think out of the box, think what you can do with that box.
Yeah.
So that also can be an attitude towards life.
Yes, that's exactly true. It's at the end of the day, it's the attitude what matters. Some people have a good attitude. They take things in a even like a biggest blunder of their life. They take it as a blessing. But some people,
Yeah.
even the smallest challenges, they'll take it like a big headache. So, how do you develop this kind of attitude? Like, because nobody teaches all these things. It's sad that currently the education system that doesn't teach us. The education system, whenever you do a mistake, they only punish you instead of rewarding you, right? So that's why since growing up, we have been scared of making mistakes. But to for you to do something big in your life, you have to fail. You have to do mistakes. That is how you learn.
Absolutely.
But how do you? I don't know. How do you develop this attitude in life?
I think, first of all, I would say that I've been blessed with a very strong mother and a very positive environment during my childhood. I was born in Punjab, but I was brought up in Himachal. So there they have a very constructive way of punishing children. They don't hit them. If you forget something, what they will do is they'll make you study 20 minutes extra. And teacher will take pain to teach you 20 minutes extra.
Wow.
It's not just that they're giving you a punishment, but they give you extra attention. It's more love, more attention showered on every child who is actually weak in a subject.
Okay.
So instead of punishing the child, they look into the matter that how they can improvise the studies. So that is also a way of again, mending a situation, I would say.
Hmm.
And apart from that, I think my mother also had a very healthy way of giving us punishments. So the punishments were in the form of extra playtime, that we had to do more rigorous physical activities, that we had to maybe play more, or she'll give us difficult tasks. So she was with athletic background. So, she used to give us like, theek hai, I mean, if you've forgotten, a spelling or something. So that means you'll have to today learn 5 new words.
Okay.
So in a way, child can look at it as a punishment that, oh gosh, I didn't know one word and now I'll have to learn 5 more. But look at what has been done. So in a way, instead of depriving you of something, you've been given something which can actually add value to you later on. And slowly you get into that habit of doing little extra, going little extra, making more efforts in your life. So this is how I think my attitude was built, and which definitely helped me a lot, losing my father at early age, losing my relationship, losing father of my children. So everything, it becomes very difficult otherwise to handle these kind of losses, which are like more to do with your emotions. Physically, we can be very strong. Mentally, also, we can be very strong, but not everybody is strong enough to handle emotions. We are taught either to be physically strong or and be mentally strong,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, we are not being taught how to handle emotions.
Correct.
Boys are being told not to cry.
Right. Yeah.
Girls are being told not to be so sissy. Don't throw tantrums, don't do this. So it's like all about don't. But do what? That is something which is missing, So, yes, I think your childhood plays a very big role that has worked for me, and I do my level best to give the same values and even a stronger emotional connect. I try to create with my children,
Mm,
and like make them emotionally strong, because
definitely.
physical strength, again, one has to build. Mental strength also gets developed during with the time, but emotional, yes. And I think which you will also agree, meditation plays a
Definitely.
very big role, very very
That
big
is where
role.
I wanted to come. My attitude has shaped once I came into spirituality. Once I got, actually, even I didn't have this so much positive, optimistic attitude towards life. I had to go through a lot of challenges, like, I got separated by my parents. My parents got separated very young age. Mom went to Kuwait to work for us, so I was living with my grandparents. I didn't have anyone to guide me, no mentors, nothing. I was a very like a poor, shy kid, not right attitude. But once I came into meditation and spirituality, once I got coached by a lot of people, that is when my attitude started changing. When I started reading books, started observing myself, basically being aware about myself, what is happening in my thoughts, what are these emotions, how can I shape it. When I became aware of these things, when I put in those daily meditation practices to be with myself and understand myself, that is when I realized small loopholes, which is happening within me. And that is how meditation transformed me completely. Whatever I am today is basically mainly about meditation. It's mainly about the spiritual path which I took.
I will 100% agree with you, Guru, because I think that helped me as well. And but unlike you, I think I had a lot of people to mentor me. I, like you went through your own emotional challenges, and I think I have seen loss of relationship and loss of lives so much in my life that I reached to a point wherein I learned to accept it, but all again because of meditation. That yes, it has played a very big role even in my life. I must say that yoga and meditation was, although it started as more of a fitness thing for me or the part of life, because in our house, it was like part of life. Everybody was just doing it. So, and growing up on hills, like you start meditating, you start being one with nature. You have a very pure life, at hills, the life is very simple. So I think that definitely helped me a lot, and right kind of parenting. That yes, my parents again went through their own ups and downs,
Yes.
and so did a lot of people around us. But for me, I think the biggest trauma used to be when I used to lose people.
Yes, the
Either
relationship. One thing.
relationships, people had to go away. Like as a child, you don't understand that people have to go away,
Correct.
either permanently or
Temporary.
living in the same world, but they had to like relocate themselves or move on. Sometimes relations break, so people just go away, and that used to be really really traumatic for me. And I was a very happy go lucky kind of a child, but it used to hurt somewhere very deep. I could never attend anybody's funeral. You will not believe, I didn't attend even my father's funeral. I didn't attend my uncle's funeral. I didn't ever attend any funeral until a colleague's father died, and it was only office people. We were just couple of us. We had to go to that site, and I was like, I've never been. So my colleague said, okay, there's always a first time. So we are the only family she has. So let's just go there. So it was her family, her mother and her sister, brother, and us. So that was the first time I realized that, It is so important actually to actually bid goodbye, to accept that it is over,
Yeah.
and then only it gets completely over.
Every
And
end.
then you get over that sorrow, and that's when you only think of joyful things. Like in our house, like my mother started this tradition, and that we all plan for how our funeral is going to be. Funeral party, by the way,
Yes.
that nobody is allowed to cry. Why cry? When we lived together, it was wonderful. Now that we are separating, if we believe that we are going to a higher self, to either God or being one with a super energy, then why be sad about it? We are
Yeah,
just going to be one of those stars or the part of that energy, part of that bigger world. So
definitely.
let's just celebrate, and then we all have planned how our funeral parties are going to be. Maybe I'll share it with you sometime.
Yeah,
So
it's
we
true, because
really
death
some
is
fun.
death is a
Sorry.
beginning. Death is a new celebration.
Yeah,
And Osho talks about this a lot. That death is a new beginning. It's not an end of life. It's a new beginning. Every end is a new
absolutely
beginning. That's true.
true.
It's very important to have this kind of attitude, because even me, I was very scared of death, losing people, especially. But
Yeah,
everything changed when I came to spirituality. When I realized that we are not dying. This death is only to this body.
true.
But we are merging with another higher power, and it continues. You become something else, and then it keeps flowing. It's not a stagnant. It's not an end. And maybe
True.
so many times we have lived this life or other life, and we have transformed over the years with different beings, being maybe animals or dogs, or cats and birds and trees, and then we have evolved as a human. I feel we have evolved like that. The
I know.
consciousness has evolved. Yeah, but coming back to the topic of relationship, which is, I think, a very important thing which people need to understand, because a lot of people take relationship so seriously that they feel it's the end of their life. They break themselves completely, they shatter themselves completely, like nobody else is there on this planet who can like, if they just lose one person, means they feel like there are like 8 billion people in this world. Come on, how can we? I understand if we have an attachment towards one person, if we are in proper love over the years, then it's okay. But kids and students, and as growing up youths, they take relationships so seriously, and I don't know how to put these things into perspective, but people take it very seriously. I don't know. What do you have to say about
You
that?
know, actually taking it seriously is fine.
Hmm.
Okay, I'll give you one small example. On an average, every person who works for a company, for someone else, right? Or goes from studies till working stage. If we start thinking that school is end of my life, or the college is end of my life, or this university is end of my life, or this organization, this position, this post, no, these are all part of us. It is not only you. You see, when people fall in a relationship, so what happens is that they start expecting from themselves and from their partner, or any person who's involved in that relationship, be it friendship or life relationship, or any relationship that we hold in our life, कि अगर ये मेरी माँ है तो ये बस मेरी माँ है. So we look at that female only as a mother. Then we completely forget that she's also a human being who has her own likes, desires, her own life. We don't own her. Just like, we don't own our father, or we don't own our children. It's
Yeah,
a very common thing that people start thinking that their children, they own their children. So
yeah,
the same attitude goes in their life even for their partners. It
yeah.
starts from friends also. Oh, you are my friend, so you will not talk to him or to her. So when that girl or a boy falls in a relationship, will start doing the same thing to
Yeah,
that male or female.
correct.
Same thing happens when they get in a matrimonial part, and then again they start expecting their partner to do everything what they like. And then in turn they say, I will do everything what you like. Now what happened? They have lost their own identity.
Correct.
They don't want to hold any identity, but I am doing this for you, and you have to do this thing for me.
Yes.
This has become like, a give and take, a barter kind of a thing. That this is what we. So everything becomes unknowingly a business deal.
Correct.
With maybe not direct monetary benefit,
But yeah.
but there are some benefits. That
Yes.
I am being nice to you, be nice to me.
Yes.
Right? I am doing this for you, now you do this thing for me.
Yes.
So it's the vicious cycle of that kind of expectation which is created by themselves,
Mm.
and they start entangling. You see, any relationship, the moment you put knots to it, you start tying it, it will create knots. So
Correct.
what will happen with knots? It is not going to be smooth.
Yeah.
So once it is not smooth, there is you lose the beauty of that relationship, be it friendship, be it your parenting, be it your life,
And
with
then,
your partner.
and
So
then we
that's how
start,
people forget to be creative with the kids. Sorry.
and then we start blaming once it's not working out.
Yes, of course. Then the blame game starts, because first thing I think which is the most common one is कि अब तुम पहले जैसे नहीं रहे या पहली जैसी नहीं रही. Because the situation was different when they are dating, the boy and girl, especially, if we talk about like a married relationship, when they're dating situation, the responsibilities, everything is different. So people don't realize when they change the environment, the reaction of the
Everything.
same human being is going to be different, right? The way you both are in the office, you cannot be in the house. It's like, okay, very simple funda which was taught, I think, by one of my mentor, that can you take the plate of your food and sit in bathroom and eat it?
No.
So every different area of your house has a different role to play.
Yeah.
Same way, you are the house, and you have different compartments in your life. You have different roles. And also, do not forget that you have a role for yourself as well.
Yeah.
People forget themselves, they forget their own identity.
Yeah.
And when they lose someone, then they're lost. Or they're constantly living in the fear of losing someone. That what if I lose? Because they don't have themselves, they don't have their own identity with them. They
Correct.
don't know who they are.
Correct.
If I don't know where do I stand? So I'll be always scared of losing the ground under my feet, right? What if you pull that carpet? Oh, that is yours. Then where do I stand? So
Yes.
that's the problem, that most of the people are trying to hold on to each other
Correct.
because they are too scared to lose themselves. They don't have their identities.
But holding on to also they're losing themselves.
Yes, absolutely, but they're not realizing it. The thing is, people have forgotten to take the inward journey. Who am I? What do I like?
But we
Okay,
have we have been taught all these things to get attached. Even in my book, I've written this, that attachment is the root cause of suffering. Buddha has said that. But as a
absolutely.
kid, we have been always taught to get attached to the kind of clothes we wear, the kind of the books we have, the toys we have, the chocolates we get. We get attached. As a kid, we have been taught this, to be attached to our marks. We've been told to identify ourselves by the how much marks we are getting, the kind of people we are involved with, the clothes we are wearing, the food we are eating, the language we are speaking.
Hmm.
There is so much attachment which has been taught. And yes, it takes a lot of, maybe I don't know, for me definitely everything broke everything when I came into spirituality. That's why every single time I tell people, meditate, meditate, meditate. Everything else makes sense to you. You will completely retransform yourself. But what if you are not into meditation then?
Okay, I tell you what. What if you're not into meditation? And what if a person didn't have, I would say, the upbringing that I had? I just take that example. I always, when I'm coaching people, I tell them that fine, I had a super mother. I am blessed to have that super environment around me, that I had all sort of troubles in my life. I think I went through, for a normal person, people may break, if they had to go through all those things in life. But I'm like jumping with the with the pleasure in my life and like, living my life to fullest. So I think for anybody and everybody who do not even have that kind of support system or that kind of background, still one can learn it. The best thing is that now even India is getting exposed to a culture called life coach.
Yeah.
So life coaches are the ones who are a very good mix
Okay.
of having that fine blend of technical know-how, all those scientific knowledge, that how to actually train your brain and your emotions and how to put everything together. It has, I would say, the mixture, it's just a perfect cocktail, I call it. You have the right amount of spirituality, you have a right amount of science, you have right amount of biology. That means you know how to connect your body, your mind, and your emotion or your energy. So once everything is put in place, you become complete.
Correct.
So I think that's where the role of a life coach becomes very, very important, because you're also life coach. You know how what kind of training we all go through, and the way we transform ourselves, which actually makes us understand that how easy it is to transform a life. One has to accept the fact that life is simple and take it simply.
It is
And
actually,
just
you just need basic tweaks and turns in your life. Simple as that. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions, if they're in line, everything is set. You don't have to do something extraordinary. You have to just do the basic things, simple everyday things in the right manner. That is all. You don't have to have that great knowledge about life, read 100 books. Nothing. You just need that basic one direction of where you need to go. And I think life coaches are the best now. Everybody has to get a life coach.
true. People don't realize how they had life coaches in a way of like, how we had all the elderly people or people around us who were mentoring us. So earlier people had a simpler life, so they were able to get mentored by a lot of people in their life, which
And
is not happening now, because now everybody is disconnected.
earlier also we had this guru sishya. Everybody had a guru.
Yes,
Everybody had
true,
a life teacher.
true.
I'm not talking about the
Yeah, the spiritual gurus we are talking about, not the religious, sorry, not the religious gurus.
the
We are
spiritual.
yeah, spiritual, yes, but not the religious one I'm talking about.
Correct. So everybody had a guru who was telling them what to do in their life and stuff. Yes,
True.
that's very important. So one more thing which I want to talk about, which also we had a discussion about the other day, which I want to shed upon, is when you who break my heart. You always say that it was not an external force. It's at the end of the day,
Yes,
you need to take the ownership of that. You need to understand that you are putting yourself in that place,
true.
even though another person has made some.
People, yeah,
Even that another person has made some way wherein he has broken your heart or
Guru, do I, are you there?
yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
One second. Can you hear me?
Yes, very much.
Yeah. So that's what I want to talk about, like how you speak about who break my heart. It's not the other person, it's you yourself. You're breaking your heart.
True.
Yeah, can you shed some light on that?
Yes, of course. That's one of my favorite topics, I would say. When people very early age, we are taught that stop blaming others for your own mistakes or for whatever is going wrong in your life. And people very easily forget that part. And it is actually taught at a very, very young age to us, right? I think maybe when we are like in a very early stage of our studies. So
Yeah.
what happens is, again, when people, as I said, the way the conditioning happens and when they fall in a relationship and when they're living with someone, so it's never my fault. That kind of attitude that I am Miss or Mr. Perfect.
Mhm.
I don't do anything wrong. So it is the fault of my husband or my wife or my in laws or my friends or my relatives or my boss. My job is not right. My boss is not nice. So we find every reason to blame others.
Correct.
The only person we completely forget to actually introspect is ourselves.
Yeah.
So if you are the reason for your happiness, you have to also understand that you are also the reason for your own
Yes.
sorrow, for your own pain.
That's so
Right? If I fall in love with someone who doesn't love me back, is it the fault of the other person, or
true.
is there any fault? I mean, does it really have to have a fault in something? When people like say like, oh, you are right, I am right, fault in our stars.
Yeah.
But you have to give, blame someone. You have to blame someone. So if not anybody else, at least like, let's blame it to the universe. Something went wrong. I couldn't find a human being. Okay, it's the fault of God.
God, yeah.
So, matlab, God is giving you everything. The gratitude is missing, and there is more of blame game going on. So now coming back to the part wherein when we say that who is making us unhappy, who broke my heart, understand, realize that somewhere it started from you only.
Yeah.
Because if the relationship was founded by you, it's if you are the one who have started it, that means if you are the seed who has actually given birth to that plant, which is going to be a tree. So if something goes wrong with that fruit, that also has to come from you only, right? So you have to actually, I would like to emphasize that it doesn't have to be your fault. It can be due to any XYZ reason, right? Or maybe sometimes you don't even realize when things go wrong, but that doesn't mean that you have to live with that sorrow.
Yeah.
First is recognizing that there is pain, there is something wrong. Most of the time people keep on living with the delusion that I don't know what's wrong.
Yeah.
Then understand, first of all, go into that depth and understand why you are unhappy, why there is grief, and why you are not able to smile, or that smile from your face doesn't reach to your eyes. Why is it happening?
Mhm.
If your partner, if your child, if forget about it, yeah, I would say even anybody else, why you are not happy? Are you happy with yourself?
Yes.
Just ask this question. And if you get an answer no, then stop looking anywhere beyond yourself.
Mhm.
If you can't love yourself, if you can't take care of yourself, how do you expect to
Okay.
love anybody else? How do you expect to take care of anybody else in your life?
That's so true.
You are your first responsibility.
Yes, that's amazing because yeah, I truly believe in that life begins with you and ends with you. Whatever is happening in your life, it's only because of you, and it will end only because of you. And only when we take responsibility, ownership of no matter whoever has done whatever in your life, but we need to start taking the responsibility of our own life and stop this blame game. And yes, working towards ourselves, start understanding ourselves basically. When there is self-awareness, everything else becomes easy to understand. That's so true. So thank you so much, Shweta. It was a wonderful discussion, conversation with you. I'm so
Thank
glad you
you.
were here and we could have all this in-depth talk about life and spirituality and all this stuff. It's amazing to always be in touch with you and talk so much about just anything. We just keep going. I know.
I know it will never end.
Yes.
We can go on.
Yes. So yes, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you came here. I'm gonna put all your links in along with this video and all this in this conversation so that people can come and know more about you. And I'm glad. Thank you so much once again, and take care. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye bye.